What is up guys, and welcome to the Techscapades. Welcome to the very first installment of our newest series, the aptly named Ultimate Budget-Serye. On today's video, we're talking about the parts that you can salvage from your old PC to be used in your new one. So, let's get started. So let's say that you're planning on building a new PC to replace your old one. Reusing parts from your old rig could save you from a few hundred to a few thousand pesos. So in this video, we're going to be going through parts that you can theoretically reuse for your new machine. The first one would be the CPU. If you still have a fairly capable CPU like ones from the Core 2 Quad or Extreme from Intel, or the Phenom 2 X4 from AMD, chances are you may be tempted in bringing your CPU with you in your next build. But do take in mind that the sockets that these CPUs are based on are no longer used, namely the socket 775 and the AM2 Plus. Most modern CPUs now have a much smaller fabrication process, commonly measured in nanometers, which makes them more powerful and power efficient, so it's much better to leave these behind. The second one is our motherboard. It's basically the same case with our CPU. If your CPU socket was utilized before 2010, such as the 775 and 1366 from Intel, or the AM2 Plus and AM3 from AMD, it's going to be much better to upgrade it completely since these sockets are no longer compatible with modern day CPUs. You may also be missing out with features such as SATA 3, USB 3 and onboard display output such as HDMI. So much like the CPU, it's better to leave these boards behind in the past. The third in this list would be our RAM. You can still actually use your RAM as long as your new board supports it. Modern day boards support DDR3, but more modern boards that support the Kaby Lake and Zen processors support DDR4 instead. DDR2 sticks of RAM were last used in 2007 before they were ultimately succeeded by DDR3, so in this one it would be a case-to-case basis. Basically, unless your RAM is DDR3 or above, you can bid farewell to your antiquated memory. Graphics card wise, you can reuse your card if it still plays modern titles or the games of your choice without any stutters. But upgrading your graphics card opens up a gateway wonderland where you can come across a much efficient experience in terms of power draw and heat output, more modern features like Nvidia's Shadow Plane G-Sync, and of course additional VRAM and improved performance nonetheless. Fifth would be our storage device, because in simple terms, if you have a hard drive that uses the parallel ATA, also known as IDE, you can simply throw these out of the window as these outdated technologies are no longer used by modern motherboards. SATA drives on the other hand can be used continuously as long as they're not showing signs of age and still have a decent capacity in storing your files. Case and power supply is the next on our agenda. For the case, you can still reuse your old case if you don't mind not having 2.5-inch drive base, USB 3 support, and multiple fan and radiator support. Unless of course you have one of those fancy cases that already have these, in which case you can reuse it without any problems. Some cases also don't support certain motherboard form factors. For instance, if you're upgrading to a full ATX motherboard, but your current case only supports up to micro ATX or mini ITX. For your power supply, however, if your power supply can adequately supply power to your new build, you can give it a sure pass. But if you're interested in power supply modularity, the 80+ efficiency rating for modern supplies, and the peace of mind that it won't fail due to old age, you can outright replace your supply to a more modern one instead. The fate of other parts such as the DVD drives, sound cards, and PCI expansion cards fall upon your hands to retire them in their service or not. That's it for this video guys. If you liked the video, go ahead and smash that like button. If you want to add anything or think that I've missed anything, comment them down in the comment section down below, and of course subscribe to our channel and like our Facebook page as it really helps us out. This has been the Techscapades. Thanks for watching.